Is my screen visible now? Yes. Okay. So today we are going to talk about the untold mistake that everyone makes, from seasoned astrologers to beginners. When they make a horoscope, at the first step, there is a mistake made. And I'm going to talk about this important mistake that everyone makes. Once upon a time in Kazakhstan is a country. Okay, they had two time zones, GMT plus 5 and GMT plus 6. The western part of the country was 5 hours ahead of London time, and the eastern part of the country was 6 hours ahead of GMT. Okay, but on the 1st of March 2024, Kazakhstan combined these two time zones and made it one time zone of GMT plus 5. Okay, that is on the 1st of March 24. And now let's see, if you're an astrologer, how does this affect you, this change in time zone in Kazakhstan? I've used Parashara's Light version 9, which is the latest version, to cast this horoscope. Okay, so I've cast this imaginary horoscope of a person born in Almaty. Okay, Almaty is the place in Kazakhstan on the 1st of September 2025 at 1 p.m. That is 1300 hours. Okay, the software has automatically considered UTC or GMT plus 6 as the time zone. So normally when we cast a horoscope, we don't check what is the time zone the software is taking, because we assume that whatever time zone the software considers is accurate. Okay. So Parashara's Light output says that the ascendant is in 18 degrees 15 minutes in Swati Nakshatra, that is in Libra sign. Okay, this is an automatic generation. But this is wrong, since the time zone of Kazakhstan is not UTC plus 6, but from the 1st of March 2024, it is UTC plus 5. So I had to manually correct this time zone from UTC plus 6 to UTC plus 5. You go to edit chart, correct the time zone from 6 to 5, and the Lagna changes from 18 degrees 54 minutes in Libra to 29 degrees 29 minutes in Vishaka. That is how much difference a 1 hour change in time zone has made in this horoscope. It just changes everything. Okay. Now, but you might say, look, I don't make too many horoscopes of people who are born in Kazakhstan. The time zone of Kazakhstan does not bother me. But if that is the point, then I will come to the horoscope of Sunil Gavaskar. He was born on the 10th of July 1949. And if you cast this horoscope using whichever software you want, the software will automatically consider 5 hours 30 minutes as the Indian Standard Time, which is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT. This is what it will automatically take, unless you intervene. And the Lagna will automatically come to 17 degrees some minutes in Capricorn. You can do nothing about it. This is the Lagna you will get, and this is the chart you will get, and this is the chart you will use in your predictions or calculations or whatever you. But no one knows that in 1949, Mumbai or Bombay's time zone was not the same as Indian Standard Time Zone. It was not IST. It was 4 hours and 51 minutes ahead of IST, and not 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of IST. The other thing which no one knows, even those people living in Mumbai, that only one part of Bombay or Mumbai, which is from Kolaba to Sion, was using Mumbai time, which is 4 hours and 51 minutes ahead of GMT. The rest of Bombay or the rest of Mumbai was using Indian Standard Time. Now, this is a fact which neither the software recognizes nor the astrologer recognizes. You have to know it. And if you read about Mumbai time in Wikipedia, you will come to know the circumstances under which only a part of Bombay was using a different time zone compared to the rest of Bombay. So you end up making the wrong horoscope if you depend solely on the calculator or the horoscope software. I made Sunil Gavaskar's horoscope also using Parashara's light. Including Parashara's light, every software that I used took 5 hours, 30 minutes as a time zone for Bombay in that year, but this is completely incorrect. Then I took Solar Fire as the software. Even in Solar Fire, which has the most accurate implementation of time zones, this time zone was taken incorrectly because it is just not known. This detail is not known by people. So the problem is that when you enter the birth detail, you enter the date of birth accurately, the date, month, and year. You enter this accurately. You pay a lot of attention to this. You enter the time accurately. Okay, you pay a lot of attention to this. You enter the place of birth very accurately because you pay a lot of attention to this. But you never look at this area of the software where the time zone is automatically generated by the software. In this case, it is showing Indian Standard Time of 5 hours, 30 minutes. You assume that the software knows that this is the accurate time zone of that location. But that is an incorrect assumption because many points for many locations, the software does not know that this is the incorrect time zone. So what is the importance or relevance of this time zone in the production of a horoscope? You may know or you may not know that if a baby is born right now, let's say 3 babies are born right now, one in, let us say, Mumbai in India, one baby, let's say, born in Sydney in Australia, and one baby born in, let's say, New York in the USA at this very moment. Now, in India, the time is around 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., 2000 hours or thereabouts. In Australia, you're already in the next day. Okay, in Australia, because it is 5 hours or 6 hours ahead of India, the date has changed. The time is completely different. The US may be is half a day behind, 10 or 12 hours behind. But a baby born at this moment, whether in India or in Australia or in the US, will have exactly the same planetary position. Okay, you could be surprised to note that because even though the countries are different, the time is different and date is different, the babies will have exactly the same planetary position, only the ascendant will change because the ascendant depends upon the place of birth, but the planetary position does not depend on the place of birth. When you're born, the horoscope software converts the local time zone of the place of your birth. If you're born in India, then 5 hours, 30 minutes, it converts it into London time or Greenwich Mean Time or UTC, by whatever name you call it. It converts Indian time or the time of birth into British time. And all the planetary calculations are made on the basis of British time, which is why a baby born now in India, Australia, or US will have exactly the same planetary position, only the ascendant will vary. Okay? But now you will say, look, I am in India, okay, now there was a problem, but there is no problem now. So why should I be bothered? Okay, let me tell you this. India had many different time zones till about 1955. India had a Calcutta time, which was different from Indian Standard Time till 1948. India had a Bombay time, which was followed till about 1955. India had a Madras time, which was different from Indian Standard Time. India had a war time from 1942 to 1945. But even today, India has an informal, unofficial time, which is called the Chai Bagan time in Assam. In Assam, even though Assam follows Indian Standard Time, unofficially, because the sun rises much ahead of rest of India. They informally set their clocks 1 hour ahead of the Indian Standard Time. So if a baby is born in Assam today, if you are given a time of birth, probably the time of birth is 1 hour ahead of Indian Standard Time. So you will have to use 6 hours 30 minutes as the time zone and not 5 hours 30 minutes in Assam, because that's how they work, because of the sunrise being very early. Now, you might still say, look, but I'm concerned with the US because I make all the horoscopes for US. I must tell you, Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Oklahoma have already passed legislation to permanently stick to summertime or daylight saving time. Permanently stick. So all these states, already 5 states have passed this legislation. They are only waiting for federal government or central government approval. The day they get the central government approval, all these states will permanently move to daylight saving or summertime, and they will no longer use the winter time, but your software will keep on giving the old time zone, because for the software to recognize this time zone change is going to take maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe 5 years. We don't know till the next version of the software is released. So you cannot depend upon the software to give you the right time. So what should you do? Okay, the easiest way to ensure that you use the right time is to go to this website called timeanddate.com. And this is the homepage of timeanddate.com. There is this search box here. You put in the name of the city for which you are looking at the correct time. Okay, for example, we looked at the example of the time in Almaty in Kazakhstan. Okay, I just put in Almaty there, and it just very clearly tells you from 2020 to 2023 the time zone was UTC plus 6, but on the 1st of March 2024, it changed to UTC plus 5. And from 2025 to 2029, it will remain at UTC plus 5. So all you have to go is to go to timeandzone.com, put in the name of the city where you want to check. It will automatically show you, and then use this time zone into your horoscope software and change the time zone if it is wrong, and then you come to the correct horoscope. Okay, David Cochrane, he produces a software called Sirius Astrology Software. He says time zones are a problem. It is not recognized as a problem. It is assumed that this has been figured out, but nobody knows the correct time zone in many countries and cities over a past period of time. Okay, as I said, this time zone is very important because your time of birth is converted into London time, is converted into local mean time, then it's converted to London time. And our planetary positions are based on London time, and it's not based on the time of birth in your location. So that is why this is extremely important to get the time zone right, because if the time zone in your chart is not right, then the planetary positions will be wrong. Okay, it is very important to know that time changes every 4 minutes of time changes 4 minutes for every 1 degree change in the longitude of the place. Time changes by 1 minute every 15 degrees change in the longitude. The time zone itself changes. Okay, the Indian Standard Time is based on a place called Mirzapur, which is located in Uttar Pradesh. Now, I just want to draw your attention to the chart of Amitabh Bachchan. You see, the most important source where you get the right horoscopes are Astro Data Bank. Now, in Astro Data Bank, there are two different time of birth given for Amitabh Bachchan. One is 3:30 a.m. Okay, it's quoted some source. It's Rodden rating DD, so it's not very relevant. But there's another time given which is from the autobiography of his father. Okay, the time is given as 2:30 p.m., but we all take it as 4 p.m., which is completely wrong. If you wish, you can go to this YouTube interview which Amitabh gave this interview in 1984, where he himself said he was born at 3 p.m., which ties up with his father's autobiography of 2:30 p.m. But the most important thing to know in Astro Data Bank, it gives the time zone. So not only must you take the time of birth from here, but you must also take the time zone from here, because that was during World War II, and India was following the World War time, or the war time, which was 6 hours 30 minutes ahead of GMT, and not 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of GMT. So not only must you take the time from Astro Data Bank, you should also take the time zone from Astro Data Bank. Only then you will come to the correct horoscope. Now, another important thing is the chart of Albert Einstein. Now, the only source where you can get the right time, it's an AA rated chart. Okay, so this is an accurate time, 11:30 a.m. But it is very clearly mentioned that this is not based on the time zone of his place of birth in Germany. It is based on the local mean time, LMT. Okay. If LMT is mentioned, then you in Jagannath Hora, you have to tick this box, LMT box. When you tick this LMT box, then it will not take the time zone from here, which is the time zone of the country of birth, but it will take the time zone, the local time zone, which is a geographical time, not the manipulated or the time that we use now, like GMT, east of GMT, west of GMT. It will use LMT, which is very useful for old charts. And in Jagannath Hora, there's a specific facility to use LMT. So if LMT is given, tick this box, forget this, and you will end up with the right horoscope. Okay, so this is more or less what I had to say. There is this website where you can see in how many countries there are time zone errors. One important thing is that if you don't know what time zone a country uses or the city was using for which you're casting the horoscope, you go to astro.com horoscopes, you cast the horoscope here. You don't take the chart from there because that's a Western chart, but you take the time zone which the chart shows, and you bring that time zone for that place into your own software, and then only you will be able to ensure that you are generating a good chart. Okay, time zones are not constant, they are changing. Astrology software is usually accurate, but they can also be inaccurate. Software uses electronic atlas to update the time zone, but this updation is done once in 2, 3, 4 years. I don't know how frequently it is done. For example, now it is Parashara's Light 9. I don't know when they'll release the 10. It might be a year, 2 years, 5 years. So till then, we will end up producing the wrong horoscope in those countries where the time zone has changed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for a brilliant lecture. We have done this lecture earlier, we posted it on YouTube, yet many of us miss that, and the errors can be tremendous. Thank you so much, Bharatji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a book by Sri K.N. Rao. Praveen Patakji and everybody, please post your comments in the chat box. I can receive everybody's comments. Okay. Now, there is a book by Sri K.N. Rao called The Nehru Dynasty. In that book is the most brilliant book. Every second paragraph contains a hidden technique. It will take you months to read it, and of course, it depends on the level you are in. Okay. And I've had this conversation with many who have appreciated and found that every second paragraph is a hidden technique, any which ways. So, for example, in K.N. Rao's interview on Lord Krishna, he mentioned one technique, and I was like, my God, sir, why did you reveal it? It was like that, any which ways. Such are the ways of masters, any which ways. There is one chapter called Rajiv Gandhi's Horoscope, the Graveyard of Astrologers. You must read that. It will help you understand how seasoned astrologers also make mistakes. And honestly, it is a bit technical, you need to go and see the video of Bharat Ramji, or it is there in Thinkifics. We'll be uploading this video every day. It is uploaded. So you need to revisit this video. Thank you so much, Bharat Ramji, once again.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we have finished our lectures for today.